Sporty greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching channels, television. This is Sports Tonight. I'm Austin Okonakpan and it's good to have you join me to talk sports. Welcome on board on the show tonight. We'll continue our countdown to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Look, my question hasn't changed. Is Team Nigeria ready to compete at the games in Tokyo? What are we doing to ensure that we give a good representation at the games? We'll talk about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics on the show tonight. We'll also take a look at Nigeria's quest to qualify in the beach volleyball event. Just one more step to conquer, and Nigeria will be featuring in that one. We'll also talk about the development of curling in Nigeria. It was in April 2019 that Tijani and Susanna Cole, husband and wife, they went to the World Championship in Norway and they made history by becoming the first African nation, making Nigeria the first African country to win at the curling championship. They defeated France 8-5. Curling now taking that giant step to sustain the momentum. They want to take it to different parts of the country to see how you and I can become followers of the sport. We'll talk about the development of the game tonight on the program. We'll take a look at what's going on right there in Egypt. The 2019 CAF Awards. Brace up for this. Ashraf Hakimi of Morocco, he has beaten Nigeria's Victor Osimhen and Samuel Chukwueze to win the Young Player of the Year award. Surprised? Brace up again. It is not Nigeria that is the Women's Team of the Year. It is Cameroon. So it's not looking good for Nigeria at the 2019 CAF Awards, but hey, that's what awards are for. To make us talk about it, we're still waiting to see if Asisat Oshoala will emerge the Women's Player of the Year. But as it is, a lot of persons were expecting Victor Osimhen or Samuel Chukwueze to win the Young Player of the Year, but Hakimi says no. In the middle of two Nigerians that will come out victorious, and it did just that. We'll take a look at the 2019 CAF Award ceremony that is going down right there in Egypt. We'll take a look at March the 13th of the Nigeria Professional Football League. Just in case you've not been following the NPFL, I want to invite you to come now so you don't start asking questions. Coach Abdallah of Eimba Football Club of Aba was shown the way out after his team fell 4-0 to Plateau United at the New Jos Stadium. Eimba couldn't understand what was going on, so they said, Coach, first thing first, let's begin with you. Step aside. So it will get more interesting when we get into March the 13th. Can Aqua United keep their momentum going? 4 consecutive victories. The Promise Keepers, they are not smiling. Can they continue when action resumes tomorrow in the Nigeria Professional Football League? They will host Wiki Tories, while table leaders Plateau United will go away to the Kakanda Stadium at Katsina United. So that one should get us talking. March the 13th of the Nigeria Professional Football League. We'll take a look at fixtures in the English FA Cup. 4th round fixtures have been completed right after Arsenal defeated Leeds United. It was a cagey one. 1-0 it ended for the Gunners. But Mikel Arteta says he's going to keep the positives from the match because his team showed the hunger that he wants. By the way, Marcelo Bielsa doing a very good job with Leeds United. They didn't respect Arsenal in any way. They came all out, but hey, it was Arsenal that got the final ingredients needed for the next round. We'll also take a look at the 2019 Carabao Club semi-final fixture. Should get us talking. That's about the outlook of the show Sports Tonight on your award-winning sports-loving channels, television. And welcome on board wherever you're in the world. You guys are still talking about some memorable moments in 2019. We can't forget 2019 in a hurry. Mixed feelings it brought to sports in Nigeria. But hey, I said, look, the country needs to sit down and reflect. Yes. What are the mistakes in 2019 that we should avoid in 2020? Football says it will be a crucial year, that they don't want distractions. It's the year of the Olympics. No football in Tokyo. Can athletics take the chance? Right now, they say, no, Austin, we want to keep fighting. You see, we're still making the same mistakes. Administrative issues pulled us back so much in 2019. Shouldn't we correct it in 2020? Athletics suffered it, still suffering it. Basketball suffered it, still suffering it. And everything rises and falls on leadership. So let's continue with our 2019 memorable sporting moments in Nigeria. By the time I introduce my guest, he will also be talking to us as regards his memorable moments in 2019. But let's keep the conversation going on social media. On Twitter, our channels_sports. It's a verified Twitter handle, and I love hearing from you guys. So talk to me tonight on this show. On Twitter, channels_sports. And on Facebook also is Channels IFA Sports. You can send us an email to sportstonight@channelstv.com. What got you talking in 2019? What are your expectations for the new year? In what areas can Nigeria improve? What should we give focus to? It's the year of the Olympics. What should we do to ensure that we go to Tokyo and give a good representation, not just add to the numbers? Talk to us. Twitter channels_sports, Facebook channels IFA Sports. If you love the league, the Nigeria Professional Football League, be part of the program. Also, use the hashtag MPFL20. Yes, for this season, we've seen good football. We've seen away wins. Someone come up and say, when it's gotten to match day 25 now, someone say, Austin, we don't see away wins in the Nigeria Professional Football League. I'm not going to take that because we've seen beautiful football this season, and we've also gotten some good away victories. Be part of the program. Twitter channels_sports, Facebook channels IFA Sports. Let's get into the discussion quickly. Let's welcome Kehinde Idris is with us in the studio. Kehinde, it's good to have you on Sports Tonight.
It's good to be here again.
And Happy New Year.
Yes, same to you. Compliment of the season to all of our esteemed viewer. And it's always lovely to talk sports, especially at this period where you do preview and then you also do review for the coming year.
I know. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll get into that one. We'll review 2019 and then we'll talk about 2020 because the new year has come. I was telling you the beautiful story of how Carlin came into Nigeria, couples. Yeah, husband and wife. They said, look, we want to bring Carlin into the country. Tijani Cole and Susanna Cole. And that was at the World Championships last year, April to be precise, in 2019. They were at the World Championships in Norway. And they were beating them. And they said, it's okay, but we just want to compete. So they made history when they defeated France 8-5. We used to see this event at the Olympics under the precision, the way persons go about it. It's beautiful to know that now we have a federation for curling in Nigeria. There you go.
Yes.
Because we keep saying it on this show that we're too big to just say it's only football. Now they want to take curling to different parts of the federation.
And it's not just we are big, Austin. It's that Nigerians have found almost everywhere around the world. There is no country, I can bet you, where you go and you say you want a handful of Nigerians that you won't find. Now, as a Nigerian, anywhere you find yourself, understand that you're an ambassador. Now, if you're an ambassador, you love to do this.
That's right.
Why not do it for the country? And then you know how we do. When you do it, the country comes, running. And that is what everybody does. If the UK hears there is one of their boys that is doing a dance competition and is so good about it, then you will hear them develop something to hate that boy or that girl.
Yeah.
And that is what it should be about. Now these guys are Nigerians doing it for Nigeria, and already we're talking about a curling federation.
Yeah.
But there is a curling federation. I heard about that far back 2017. And maybe this is where they want to key in.
Yeah.
These guys are fantastic. Let's spread it. We don't know which one would do us so well in the long run.
We didn't win bobsled at the Winter Olympics,
We
but
did.
we love the story. The world talked about
Even the world
Nigeria.
loved, at the end of the year, it was one of the top sporting discussions for that 2018.
Beautiful.
So that is what it is about.
That's right.
Why not do it and let everybody, look into that?
The federation, they're doing just that. The Nigerian Curling Federation. They have confirmed plans for a training trip to Turkey for February the 12th till the 23rd. It's not just all about winning. They want to have that trip so that our persons will really understand the game. The director division of the federation, Charles Nemeth, told Channel Sports, it was on our morning show, Sports This Morning, he told Cecilia Omorogbe and Tayo Salam that about 12 callers will make the trip. Where will they get them from? Listen up. The NCF will hold clinics in 6 states: Cross River, Abuja, Oyo State, Kwara, and Ondo State in a bid to continue the development of the sport. So I was like, oh, Collins, now I think it is. Wait till we'll win an international event, and you know it is. Let's listen to Charles Nemeth talk about ways they intend to develop curling in Nigeria.
We're partnering with some of our international partners like Turkey and South Korea. Those countries have agreed to make their facilities available to our athletes. So we're planning right now to put together a trip in February, as you mentioned, to bring our teams over to Turkey and be on the ground there on their ice with our staff training our teams. We're going to bring 10 or 12 athletes out to Turkey, along with a number of our staff from Nigeria. And myself and my son will be out there as well to help with the training. So we want to get that done in February, and then raise the money necessary to do a subsequent trip to South Korea. And I think once we get the athletes through those two training sessions, they'll be ready to go into international qualifying tournaments, so that we can start to earn points for our Olympic spot in 2022.
So that's it. It's all about taking baby steps. Remember, I taught you guys the real definition of development. It's a gradual process towards advancement. So you take baby steps, you take it again, but then you're moving. That's what they seem to be doing with curling in Nigeria. I love it so much. So we'll continue to monitor the progress of that sport in the country. Let's bring the discussion back to where I love to have it. That's the countdown to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. I met an official of the federation. He says, Austin, when you were counting down, I thought it was foul. But now it's 2020. Here we go. And January is racing away. 198 days to go. I think I remember, Kendi, on this show, you were with me when it was about 230?
260 something.
260
Yes,
something.
yes.
It's 198 days to go to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So now when we talk about it, someone will say, oh, it's 2019, because then it can deceive you. This is 2020.
And we're already talking about 198 days. And what this tells me is the next time, next Tuesday, if I'm here, it will be 190.
Okay.
And that is how,
it
see,
goes.
the times of our life, moves and, speeds up, except if you're moving alongside it. It seems like you're really, putting down the time. 198 days, there is no more time. And if anything is not ready at this time, I was listening to you when you were reeling out what should be expected on this show today. You mentioned some people, saying, we still want to try, at this time, you're still thinking of pushing. Every athlete should know where they stand, should know what they are doing. Okay, I'm competing against. What you should do now, you're studying those you're competing against, you're nourishing yourself, keeping yourself in good shape. That's all. If you're still preparing to be in shape at 198 days to go, then you're already in preparations to fail at the Olympics.
Because it's done.
You're facing the world.
Yeah,
You're playing the best, of the cream de la cream when it comes to sport. Any sport you're doing, whether you're doing curling, you're doing bobsleigh, you're doing swimming, you're competing against the best. All Australia, Oceania, anywhere. And you're still talking about getting ready.
Athletes based in the States, she told me that a colleague that will represent the United States, she has a program, she knows where she's going to be staying. They've given her design for her own kids to know. So
Austin,
they're just
years ago, when Maurice
up.
Green was still the world fastest man, I saw maybe a year to the Olympics. I saw his program, what he should feed on, what he should eat, and all of that. Places he can go and place. A year to the Olympics.
Right.
Conditioned him. You will see them this huge.
Then
But when they move, they're as light as paper.
Done.
That is what they do.
It's just to look forward to it. I know, Kendi. I know it's okay.
It's not okay.
Well, on my show, it's okay.
It's not okay, Austin.
Let's listen to Bukola Olokpade. Bukola Olokpade is a respected sports administrator in Nigeria. I caught up with him and I said, at this stage, it's looking like it's late. What's the most important thing that we need to do now before the Tokyo 2020 Olympics? Let's listen to him.
Funding of already qualified athletes, which, like I said earlier on, is in line with the Adopt an Athlete initiative of the Honorable Minister. I think that was a step in the very right direction. So, like the table tennis champion now for wheelchair, he's qualified for Paralympics, and already there's funding. He's been adopted. There's funding for him to at least start training and attend competitions, which will put him in the right frame of mind to ensure that at the Paralympic Games, he comes out tops in his category. Same thing will happen to top athletes in various sports. I want to believe that Adeguroye that left Civic Center a few days ago, a revitalized wrestler, a more determined wrestler, but a wrestler that feels loved. You know, that understands that there will be funding for her to practice anywhere in the world that she chooses to practice, for her to feed better, for her to feed well, for our nutritionists, our doctors. Because don't also forget, it is not about looking after only the athletes. It is also about looking after the entire team behind the athlete. So it's not an easy thing funding sports. But with what the Honourable Minister has done, I am very optimistic. And this just tells you that there's an ingenious way with which the Honourable Minister is moving. And with that, I believe strongly that the responsibility of not only raising effective funding for athletes to do well will be achieved, but the ambition to ensure that we hit the medal table would be achieved. I'm very optimistic this time around, despite the short period that we've started this.
It would have been good if it was just, I'm very optimistic, but there's that despite the short period. But it said some heartwarming things, particularly that he answered the question of funding of already qualified athletes seem to be the new relief for sports in Nigeria, because then the athletes qualify and it starts waiting.
The athletes don't even know what to do next.
Yeah, what's next?
We
But
just
now,
wait for the time.
the ministry Adopt an Athlete campaign
Which
has brought some soccer.
yes.
He mentioned that they Kuroye that from that event she'll go back home now and sleep and say thank you. This is different.
Adekunle was mentioning why she why she did poorly at the last Olympics. That preparations for the Olympics. Now look at this. She said it seemed like the first time she's hearing it. Even reading the history books of Nigeria, adopt an athlete, and she got adopted. But you know, you can travel anywhere, get your preparations. We will fund it. And look at the addition that Olokpade had it there. That you should also understand.
There's a team.
There is a team.
That's right.
You mentioned Usain Bolt and about 15 people moving around him. Now, she has a coach, a nutritionist, a
dietitian, a
physiotherapist,
psychologist.
all of these guys work. See, you would understand when you get to levels of Olympics, the World Cup, whichever World Cup, whether rugby, you understand that talent is never enough. A lot of other things comes in. Are you psychologically ready for what is coming up? Are you in the right frame of mind? Are you ready when it comes to your diet over time before the competition? Is your system ready? Because competitions comes with a whole lot. If all these things are not being put in place, you'll hear, you know, ladies who went, gave birth, came back, conquered the world. It is a lot. It is not wish. If wishes were horses.
Pregnancy, they were already planning.
They were already planning, even before the pregnancy came, even before the baby came. And this is all encompassing. Now, adopt an athlete, funding an already, you know, qualified athlete for the Olympics. Now you understand, if he's a runner, there is the coach. There is this. If it's a football team, you have the medical team, because this ones, they deal with team. You have to fund all of this. If you do all of that, then the team. Now, Olokpade mentioned revitalize. That is the word. If I feel adopted, I was saying it on this show, a huge company in Nigeria, 38 million naira for travels to Aruna Kodri. Don't bother about traveling.
Number 18 in the world now.
The money is there. Travel to anywhere and play tennis.
I know, Candy. Pause it. We'll be fine. Let's go on this quick break now. When we come back, I want to leave this discussion on Nigeria's preparations for the Olympics. We're so close to qualifying for the beach volleyball event at the Olympics. I'll tell you, don't go anywhere. Stay.